The tunnel grew colder. Miller and I were close to the surface now. Soon, we'd climb up into the howling wind to find our way through whatever nightmares were waiting there. My long journey was nearly at the end. But would I have the courage, the will to see it through? Life was never easy in the tunnels, but it was our home. There was comfort in its routines, in seeing the same people day after day. But since the mutant attacks had escalated, fear ruled the station. I had just turned 20, and could never have imagined what would follow on the morning that my stepfather's friend Hunter arrived at the barricade. Hunter did not return. It wouldn't be easy to find an excuse to leave the station and travel to Polis, but I had given my word. I learned that the caravan was heading to Riga the next day and needed guards, assigned on for the ride. It was the first time I had left the safety of my home station. It troubled me that I hadn't told my stepfather the truth. I would not be heading straight back from Riga. But Hunter was depending on me. Riga station was only the first stop on my journey, but the caravan went no further. So before parting ways, we drank to celebrate our survival. The vodka didn't drown my fear of traveling on to Polis alone, but I was about to find myself with an unexpected and notorious partner. As I entered the abandoned tunnel with Bourban, I wondered if I'd been wrong to trust him. But the station gates were still sealed, and there was no telling when I would have another chance to leave Riga. Our bloody skirmish with the bandits was over. I had expected mutants and monsters, but how many more of my fellow humans would try to kill me before I reached Polis? Market station was just a little further, but Bourban warned me that our path went through the lost catacombs. I'd never seen a market like this. You could buy almost anything. But Bourban owed money to the Hansa sentries and was anxious to leave. When we emerged into the ruins of Moscow, I felt both fear and sorrow. But after life underground, I also saw strange beauty in the dark skies and frozen landscape. So that's the dead city, grunted Bourban. Welcome home, Artyom. As we went underground, it struck me that my city was now a foreign and hostile place. I felt safe here, in the darkness of the metro, more so when Bourban claimed to have friends at Dry Station. Han's appearance caught me by surprise. Although while fighting the bandits, I did sense someone helping from the shadows. Han assured me that Bourban's fate was not tied to my own, but I regretted his death. Han was an unusual man, but I suppose he was also a man of his time, moving between the dark and the light, searching for answers buried in the rubble. Han led me into Kerr Station. The name was no accident. Its people were locked in an endless war for survival. Armory Station was where most of the weapons in the metro were made. There had been an arms factory located above, but after the nukes fell, many of the workers settled here. I was looking for Andrew the Smith, but he found me first. Even the apocalypse didn't stop us from killing one another over ideology. I was about to go through the front line between the Nazis and the communists. I've heard they once fought another war, and that the Nazis lost. When I came to my senses, I lost all hope. Nazi prisoners were used for slave labor, or target practice. After our firefight with the Nazi trolleys, it seems we would have an easy road ahead. Once again, I was wrong. After Pavel's death, I was on my own. Somehow, I had to reach Black Station. Ullman would meet me there and take me to Polis. I worried that my home exhibition would share the fate of whole station. But within that nightmare, I met a young survivor who was very brave and very talkative. I went up again, to the gloomy charm of post-apocalyptic Moscow. I was warned in whole station about a new squad of Nazi rangers on the surface. It was clear the Black Station was occupied by fascists, but Ullman had said he would wait for me there. I had to risk it. It's hard to describe my feelings at that moment. Exhausted, yes, but joyful. I had made it. Once I delivered Hunter's message, the rescue of my home station could be decided by those stronger and wiser than I. and my task would be over. The council's decision shocked me, but Miller's plan gave me hope. Once more I climbed up to the bones of Moscow to search for the secret of D6 and a way to awaken the horde of missiles. Upon entering the great library, I was in awe. It seemed like a fairy tale castle. And, as in the old stories, its treasures were guarded by monsters. I was alone again. And soon I would look into the eyes of fear. Literally. The underground depository was a frightening place, and I had no idea where or what to search. But I refused to think that all my efforts would come to nothing. I had found the D6 documents, but Miller had not yet returned. Without his help, I wasn't certain I could get out of the library alive, but everything depended on it. Dark tunnel, wheel rattle, and the smell of death. That's how our journey to D6 began. But our goal seemed closer now. The chaos of the tunnel was locked away behind the airlock gates. They seemed invulnerable, and at that moment, so did my comrades. It was one loss after another. And for every one who died helping me save my home station, I felt a needle in my heart. We were close to D6 now. It was hard to believe that we'd found the legendary command center, but was it worth so many lives? Soon we would know the answer. Going down to the heart of the ancient citadel, I felt a chill in my soul. What man had the right to name himself the master of D6 and the devastating weapons it controlled? By fire and sword, we'll take back our world. Miller believed this and was ready to die for it. But I was filled with doubt. We had already scorched the earth once. Now the fire was in my hands, and I had to carry it through. Miller and I left the train, then climbed up the tunnel to the Korolev Performance Hall. We were close to Ostankino Tower now. In the frozen streets, we joined the other rangers in the furious battle that began my story. The elevator delivered us to the top of the tower. For decades, news was broadcast from this place. But whether today's news would be good or bad depended entirely on us. Once we installed the guidance system, our mission would be over. But plans were made to go wrong.